Welcome to another edition of the CS Podcast, where you can hear interviews with special guests such as
Dayon Buchanan, Tom Waddle, Pierre Desir, Dallas Thomas,
and many others.
Too big, too strong, too fast, too good.
So be sure to subscribe and tune in to the CS Podcast on YouTube at youtube.com/ChristianRE722.
Did you not get the memo?
That's www.youtube.com/ChristianRE722 for great interviews. Be sure to check out the CS Podcast.
You are ridiculous.
Welcome back to the CS Podcast. I'm your host, Chris Shanafel, and I'm now joined by Virginia Tech defensive tackle Luther Maddy. Thanks for joining the show, Luther. How's it going?
I've been doing good. Just, at home relaxing, enjoying the spring break. Can't complain.
Well, I gotta say, it's a true pleasure to have you on the show, man. We're gonna be talking about what you've done thus far in your college football career, and of course, your bright future. We'll get to all of that and more. Luther, as a true freshman, you were able to start 7 of the 13 games you played in for the Virginia Tech Hokies, and you recorded 19 tackles, 2 tackles for loss, 1 quarterback sack, and a forced fumble. Those are pretty solid numbers, especially for a true freshman. Any chance you could tell us about that very first time you got to the quarterback? I gotta think it's one of those plays that you'll never forget.
Yeah, the very first time was the UVA game, and you probably know the UVA was a big rival. I was playing, that was our biggest game probably of the season. UVA, because I did, right up the street, we won't really like each other too much. So I was just playing my hardest ball, and it happened to be one of those plays where you have to, a lot of effort. Mm-hmm. I was just running down the field, and Rocco was running to the sideline, and I sacked him. Yeah, it was nice. I really good my first collegiate sack, and I celebrated my teammates. Skip was in the game also. Skip was a good mentor to me, so it was all smiles getting to the quarterback. I'll never forget that moment.
I bet, man. Now, in 2012, you played in all 13 games and started 9 of those, and you brought in 35 tackles, 6.5 tackles for loss, and 4 quarterback sacks. Now, that 2012 Virginia Tech Hokies defense, it seemed like it was a very young defense. Did you find yourself being a leader of that defense? Because it almost seemed that way now that I look back at it.
Yeah, it was really young. It was young, but I still consider myself as a leader. I was still, trying to get adjusted to things. There were a couple older guys like Gail and Skip and Bruce Taylor. Those guys on the defense there, so I couldn't really take upon leadership. And plus, I've done a little, so I don't think I've done too much to contribute. So I ain't want to take upon myself being a leader too, or try to say. I put forth the word, but I wasn't really a leader yet. Because I was still, kind of the young boy on the team on the defensive line.
Yeah, that was definitely a very young defense. And Luther, this past season was your best one yet. You started all 13 games and you totaled 55 tackles, 13.5 tackles for loss, 6.5 quarterback sacks, along with 16 quarterback hurries. Now, throughout this whole interview, I've been reading your stat line from each season, but if you're trying to critique anybody, especially in this case a defensive lineman, it's always best to watch their tape and see what they're able to do. And from what I've seen from you, Luther, I really do believe you are one of the best defensive tackles in the nation. You're able to disrupt the quarterback, get the ball out of his hands, and you're able to meet the running back in the backfield. Some people thought that you would enter this year's NFL draft and be a first or second round pick, but you decided to stay in Virginia Tech for your senior year. How much thought did you put into entering this year's draft?
I give it a lot of thought. You probably know this because I ain't announced that I'll be coming back to probably later in the process, close to the deadline date. I give it a lot of thought. Talk to my parents, talk to some people that I was really close with, the high school coaches and stuff, my trainer back at home. And I made one guy just, prayed about it, and God just spoke to me like, best, I guess, I come back and I'll get my degree and give it a shot next year and probably even get drafted even higher. Because the degree meant a lot to me. And I just want to come back to Tech, try to get back to the tradition of, getting an ACC championship and being that nasty big lunch trail defense. So I give a lot of thought. I was really close. I give a lot of thought to leaving. Take the truth, I was really close to leaving. And then one day I just, prayed about it. And I woke up the next day and said, no, I think it's good that you come back. And that's what I just announced to the media that I'll just come back to school, get my degree and stuff.
Well, I definitely respect that you put a lot of thought in that. I know a lot of people that enter the NFL draft early, down the road, they kind of regret it sometimes. Not everybody, but sometimes they do. So definitely great to hear that you put a lot of thought in that. Chris Shanafel talking with 2015 hopeful NFL draft prospect, defensive tackle out of Virginia Tech, Luther Maddy. Now, speaking of this year's NFL draft, Luther, there's been a ton of talk about a defensive end out of South Carolina. You may have heard of him, Jadeveon Clowney. We've been hearing about his name, for well over a year now, of how much of an athletic freak he is and that he'll be one of the top 3, top 4 picks in this year's NFL draft. Maybe he'll go number 1 overall. As a defensive lineman, what are your thoughts on Jadeveon Clowney?
Yeah, Jadeveon, I knew who Jadeveon was since high school. Rob was number 1 defensive end. I knew who he was since high school. And just seeing him progress, he really is a freak. That's how I can describe him, a freak athlete. And the thing about him, though, I feel like he's not even reached his potential yet. Mm-hmm. He's a great player, but I feel like he still has room to improve, his trash rushing skill moves. Because I feel like right now he's going off raw talent. And once you get to the NFL, I know there's some coaches that work with him and get the right technique, and I feel like he's going to be a beast. He's a real athlete. And speaking of Jadeveon, we have somebody at Tech now that's very similar to him. He doesn't weigh as much, but Daddy Nicholas, he's also a freak. He's like 6'3", about 220. He looks like a 4'4", 40 also. He played defensive end. Wow. He'll be a starter this year. So him and Jadeveon, I compare him to his daddy. Daddy, he's going to have a breakout year this year. He's from our home state also. So, well, back to the question, he's a great player. I'm excited to see what he's going to do in the NFL.
Well, I'll definitely have to, be on the lookout for that teammate of yours, man. If you're comparing somebody to Jadeveon Clowney, there's no doubt.
Yeah. He's just not as big. He's about 220. Jadeveon's like 260. That's only difference with of course, the size. But that is even faster. He's a 41-inch vert, 4'4", 40. So he's going to have a breakout year this year.
Hey, man, that sounds great. Now, Luther, looking back at your career, now I know we still have a while until the 2014 season kicks off, but what are your expectations for this upcoming season?
You mean like number-wise or just as a team?
Number-wise for you, and then if you'd like to expand on that as a team, that'd be great.
Number-wise, I want, of course, double-digit sacks and TFLs. I want something in the 20 range in both categories. 20-plus sacks, 20-plus TFLs. I know it's like a guided number, but I like to shoot high, and if I don't meet it or come close to me, I'll be satisfied. But I want a 20-plus sacks, 20-plus TFLs, and something around 80 tackles, 70 tackles, something like that. That's my plan for this year. I have to work at it, and I'll get there with my teammates also. There's so much training help me be able to reach those goals. But as a team, I'm gonna be a senior this year, as you know. So I want to be just one of the leaders on defense. We lost a lot of players last year, so I have to step up, be one of the leaders on defense. Set the tone, guide the guys in the right direction, especially the defense, a young D-line. So I have to definitely get a lead on the defensive line side of the ball, and then try to lead the team like this and go get back to the traditional, getting the ACC, running the ACC and getting the ACC championship, and hopefully the national championship.
All right, sounds great, man. So 20-plus sacks, 20-plus tackles for losses, and the ACC and national championship. Doesn't get much better than that.
Yeah, it'll be hard to reach, but I feel like it's definitely doable if I work at it.
Absolutely. You don't want to set yourself short, so definitely set those expectations very high. I love it, man. Now, my next question for you is, if you would compare yourself to a defensive tackle currently playing in the NFL today, who do you think that would be and why?
I had one of my cousins compare me to this guy a couple months ago, and I looked at his film. I was like, wow, he doesn't remind me of myself. It's Geno Atkins. He's I don't know Geno Atkins. I think that's for the Bengals, I think.
Oh, there's no doubt I heard of him. Arguably the best defensive tackle in the NFL, man.
Yeah. Yeah, he's like, he's about my size. I think I'm like in the 4th round, a little undersized, just like I am. I feel we got the same quickness. We're really good with our pass rush. When I watch this film, his highlights, he just played very similarly. Our stature and everything. So I feel like, that's why I can put myself best to Geno Atkins.
Hey, can't go wrong with that. Cannot go wrong with that. Now, the dude's an absolute monster, and we've already seen it so far in his very young NFL career. Now, Luther, what would you say has been the biggest or most memorable play that you've made so far throughout your college football career?
Biggest and memorable, the play I was thinking was when we played Florida State my sophomore year. Was it my sophomore year? My sophomore year last year, the year before last, we played Florida State in Lane Stadium. It was a very, very big game. It was a close game. We ended up losing, but the play was like 4th quarter. Game was tight. I think we were the title at that point. And first they threw a screen to one of the receivers, like a little jailbreak screen. And he tried to come back inside, and Coach Foster had called a play, and which the tackle was there, had to drop back in coverage. So I dropped back, and I made a tackle, open field, fast, quick shit to the receiver, made the tackle open field in the screen. He didn't get any yards, so it was a pretty big play in the game, fourth quarter. It was third down also, turn the ball over. So I thought that was one of the biggest games ever. Biggest plays for me ever. And other than, of course, sacks and CFLs, but that tuck on the screen against the shit guys was really good to me.
All right, now Virginia Tech is represented very well in the NFL. Now, maybe it's been somebody who attended Virginia Tech or not, but has anybody given you any advice on what to expect at the next level?
Yeah, my trainer back at home, his name's TJ Jackson. He played in NFL, he played for Virginia Tech a while ago. He told me what to expect. Jalen Horsley, he went to Tech, he was a corner, very good corner. He plays for the Giants now. Brandon Flowers, of course, is also from Virginia Tech. All of the others actually from Derry Beach and back in Florida. So one go work out to speak to me about the next level. I just told me what to expect. Everybody's good. So basically find a way to make yourself, stand out. Basically, of course the game speeds faster. Guys are strong. But they gotta find a way to stay focused, stay motivated, try to stand up.
Now, I know we still have a whole nother season of football to play, but have you even began to think about hearing your name called in the 2015 NFL Draft and playing at the next level?
You mean, like, do I think I'm going to get... I think I definitely have a good chance of being drafted. I think I'm one of the better big tackles in this class, this draft class for the 2015, so I feel like I'll probably get picked up pretty early. If I have a pretty good, solid season, like I expect to get those numbers.
Likewise, man. Likewise. I definitely have some high expectations for you, man. But I know you've been pretty busy with school and training, getting ready for your final year of college football. Can you give us an update on how training is going and what exactly you're doing nowadays?
Oh yeah, training's been going great. We got Coach Gentry. He's a great conditioning coach. I definitely got a lot stronger because I had an internship last summer. Before the season, I had an internship. It was like 4 hours away from school, so I was really able to work out as much as I wanted to because I was at the internship before the summer started. So I felt I was a little bit on the weaker side during this past season. So I've been working at it this spring, off season with Coach Gentry. I definitely got a lot stronger. So get my core together again, trying to get even more explosive, trying to get quicker. We actually did a 10-yard test the other day. And my 10-yard time was a 1.67, so I'm basically getting more explosive. So that's going to definitely start to make that translate onto the field. And, just working hard, working with my teammates, trying to perfect my craft.
That's awesome, man. That's great to hear, Luther. I have some high expectations for you, man. I'm going to hold you up to that 20 sacks, 20 tackles for losses. I really do appreciate your time, man. It's been a true pleasure. Hopefully we could do it again later on down the line. But before I let you go, is there anything you'd like to say to myself and our listeners?
I just want to say thanks for having me. It was a really good time talking to you guys.
Hey, thank you, man. Once again, best of luck this upcoming season, and we'll have to keep in touch, man. Take care.
All right, you too.
Thanks for tuning into the CS Podcast. I hope you enjoyed. Please check out all of my past interviews at www.youtube.com/ChristianRE722. Once again, that's www.youtube.com/ChristianRE722. And be sure to follow me on Twitter at Chris Shanafelt.